Warning, the following program may contain harsh language that's not suitable for younger audiences. Discretion is advised.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
InTariVisions.
Atari, the fun is back.
It's the closest thing to the real thing.
Because your vision is our vision.
No other video game stacks up to Atari.
Welcome everyone to InTariVisions, episode 25, Donkey Kong Jr. As always, well, not always, well, I guess it is always, we have Ferg from the Atari 26... Would you wait to get done talking?
Sorry.
So the 2600 Game by Game podcast.
Hi.
There we go.
That was seamless. Well done.
Yeah. And we also have Normix here. It's been a while.
It has been a while, yeah. I finished that home plumbing job I've been doing for the last 2 years, so I'm back.
Awesome. And, of course, we have Rick.
Everyone is excited to have me along, and I feel the love.
It's like, Rick, what the hell am I playing?
Exactly. What the hell am I playing?
We all have questions about that.
All kinds of questions.
Yes.
So, it's been quite a while since the last time we recorded an episode.
Yeah, it's over a year, I think.
It's been over a year.
I think it was February when you did Mousetrap of 2021.
Holy
Mousetrap was the last game we did?
Yeah.
According to my podcast catcher.
Wow, that should be episode 24, so yeah. Wow, been a while.
Yep.
So, Ferg, what have you been doing this past 12 months?
Trying not to go insane and doing my podcast and racking up kittens.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Hey.
I think this time last year we had one, and now we have 4.
Oh, like potato chips, you just can't have one.
That's right.
Well, you gotta hand it to you, man. At least you're sticking with the podcast, man. I freaking just threw in the towel. I gave up.
Are you still doing Toy Tomb or no?
It's hit and miss.
Yeah.
That's on hiatus.
Yeah.
So ColecoVision's podcast just disappeared completely, right? You just off the map.
Off the map. That 1500 podcast, off the map. It's gone. Space 1999. Yeah, Rick, it's your fault. You don't want to record anymore. That one's gone.
It's out there. It's on a limb. It's withering. It's terribly looking. It looks awful.
I mean, it's kind of bad when the Space 1999 Facebook page takes notice. They're like, "Where's the rest of the episodes?" Contact Rick Reynolds at.
Somebody finds the show and they're like, "Is there a problem with the feed? Why?"
What's there only
Keep
2 episodes?
refreshing it. You guys, I like that show too. I wish you guys would do it more. I watched that TV show.
I wish we would do
not
more
regularly,
too.
but yeah. Well, Rick again.
Hey, Willie, we should do that some. We should do more.
Oh yeah, really? It took you like a year and a half to convince me to do it. And I finally started doing it, and you just disappeared.
How many holiday specials did you put out last year, Rick?
Oh,
ouch!
Oh, yeah.
Well, I was saying that wasn't the reason.
Not as many as planned. That is sure.
And of course, Vetrix Radio, which I still like doing that one, just don't have a lot of time, unfortunately. Rick and I do plan on doing another episode of this new game we got a hold of, that Crush of Lucifer.
Yeah.
I've been spending spending some time playing it, so we could do an episode on it. So I'm looking forward to that. That'll be a fun one to do.
Yes.
But I'm really happy to do another InTariVisions. I like doing the InTariVisions because I don't have to worry about being whatever like I did my other podcast, the ColecoVision. So I had a lot of people ask me to do ColecoVision again. I was like, no. It's got too many bad memories.
Well, serious question. Has anyone asked to take it over? Has anyone said, you want to relinquish it?
I'm kind of amazed. I thought for sure someone wanted to take it over. It's like, here you go. Here, take it over. Have fun with it, because there's a lot of stuff.
Turnkey podcast.
There's a lot of stuff going on the ColecoVision.
I know.
Yeah, you could do just homebrews.
Yeah, there's a ton going on. There's so much material out there. just not motivated to do it anymore.
Yeah. Well, you still put out a lot of Arcade USA stuff.
No, I don't. Not really.
Well, maybe I'm just behind.
I'm down to like 1 or 2 videos a week if you're lucky.
Yeah, but that's a lot.
But you've got a back catalog. You've got a ton of stuff. Like I was watching a bunch of the stuff on your handhelds, which I know you did a while ago, because I started getting back into. I have a bunch of handhelds, and now I started buying some new ones. So new old stock, if you will.
Oh, the old.
The Mattel LED games, that kind of thing.
I am a sucker for the old Mattel handheld LED games and VFD games. I can't pass the VFD game when I find one at a flea market. Even if I have it already, I just got to buy the dang thing. I got a problem.
Yeah.
I just love those things.
Well, I mean, we you didn't ask, but we've been pretty slow on Intellivision areas as well.
Yeah. Well, I hadn't got to you yet. I was still talking to Ferg.
I know, but it's a catch-all for everyone to talk, I think.
Yes, it is.
I don't know. I forgot. I haven't been on the show so long.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel so bad because I'm not really commented on any Ferg's podcast lately or sent any feedback. I've been abusing him something fierce. Neglecting him something fierce.
Oh, that's all right. I know you're busy. I know your travel started up again, right? For work?
Oh, yes. I'm all over the place. I'm going to Rochester, New York next week, and I'll be...
Oh, are you going to the Strong Museum?
I probably will.
That's awesome.
I'll be in Indianapolis the following week after that. So I'm all over. I'm all over the place yet again, which is why videos have really dropped off quite a bit.
Yeah.
That and I'm just getting unmotivated.
Do you still make time to go to retro game shops wherever you're traveling? I know traveling's been less, but
I try to. I try at least visit at least one when I'm in an area. Then I end up going like to car museums and stuff like that. Doing
that's
that
also
kind of
cool.
Stuff. Yeah, I've been getting back into the car hobby again. But anyway, what about you, Paul? What have you been doing?
Catching up on podcasts. I like Ferg's, your show. I'm almost current. I went back and I'm looking at the feed and I'm like, oh, I missed that one, and then I went out and bought the full CIB of Space Shuttle after listening to that episode.
I love Space Shuttle. Yeah, that was a good episode.
Yeah, that's one that I would have bought back then if I still had the 2600 then. But no, we tried to keep Intellivisioners going. It was few and far between. Although we did put out more than we did in 2020 last year by one episode. A little cheat at the end with an outtakes only episode, but I still beat the number. Was it 5, Rick? 5 episodes in a year?
Boy, I don't know.
I think it was 4 or 5. But I got, like you're talking about doing different things, Willie. Like, I mean, I was doing a lot of work and caught up with that stuff, and that was a big reason. And then, of course, the health of my parents in the last couple of years was not good there. Yeah. And then I got into other hobbies and interests for a while. I started getting back into slot cars again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
Dug out the old ones because I bought my son a set for Christmas, and then I dug out my old ones. And then he's not as interested as I thought he would be, so it's on the back burner right now. But yeah, I don't know. You get in and out of doing this, and it's not like the interest is gone, but you sort of focus on something else for a while. And trying to catch up on I had a lot of books about gaming stuff and vintage computer history, stuff like that. And one of these I'll bring up later, that book, the Coleco, the official book that came out a few years back.
Yeah, I got that.
I just finished that recently. There's some stuff from it that I will bring up when we talk about some of the games here. But
awesome.
Yeah, just working, staying busy, and trying to get back into regular podcasting again. But I have more free time now, which is good.
Oh, that's awesome. Good. That's real good. Oh, I hate to do this. What about you, Rick?
Wow. Jeez. Yeah, so I mean, honestly, the Boy Scout troop that my sons are in chews up a lot of my time. That's just the reality of it. I think probably I might have taught 3 merit badges since we talked last. One of which was the chess merit badge. I taught the chess badge.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I've always loved chess, but I'm just not very good at it. And so it was very fun to.
In general.
Yeah. It was very fun to show the kids higher level stuff in chess, the strategies and tactics and stuff like that. And I don't know, that sparked. You were talking how you got on a tear, Paul, of getting some of the handhelds. I started getting on a tear of buying like vintage 70s and 80s electronic chess games.
Sweet.
Oh man, I love those things. Oh, I don't have too many, but I have a handful of these. That I got this one called Boris. that it's like it's sort of in a briefcase, and you pull the board out and the chess pieces out, and you plug it into the wall, and it has this very LED the seven display, whatever you call it, 7-element display, and and it tells you what to move on the board and stuff. But it's called Boris. Boris will play chess with you. It's
oh, so that's like a grid like A9 to A8 or something like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I remember seeing one that the pieces had like little LEDs next to them on the board that would show you where to move them.
Wow.
Oh yeah. I ended up getting a board, electronic board that connects Bluetooth to your phone. Or to your like computer, and it allowed me to play with physical pieces on the board against somebody across the world on chess.com.
That's so cool.
Yeah, the board shows you what the pieces are moving by the LEDs, and you just move the piece around. It's pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
So got into chess, but it's kind of a side effect of teaching the badge. So a lot of so right now I'm working with my younger son to do the hiking merit badge. This kid is going to kill me. Is basically what's going to happen. Getting him to Eagle is going to kill me. The badge requires 6 hikes, and they go 5 miles, then 3 10-milers, then a 15, and then a 20. So that's what I have to do.
That's insane.
Which son's doing this?
This is the younger one, Cameron.
Cameron, walk really fast.
It is. We've done the first 4, so we got 2 more to go. The 15 and the 20 are what's left.
Come on, old man, keep up.
So you have to do this all in a row, I'm guessing? It's not like walk 8 miles and camp and then walk another 7 next day? Or
You are correct. Yes,
okay.
You are correct. You can take a break, you can have a meal, that kind of stuff, but it has to be 1 day, 1 hike kind of thing.
Wow.
So you're going to do a 20-mile hike in 1 day.
This may be a 3-person podcast in a definitely.
Yeah.
My younger
what
son.
What happened to Rick?
He'll get to Eagle, but he'll be burying me as he does that. So
it's the end of the hike.
Yeah.
Bring a shovel.
Bring a shovel.
Have Mom meet us with a shovel.
Oh man. Anyway, well, we're going to get started talking about Donkey Kong Jr. So let's hit it off, Ferg, as always.
All right. So Donkey Kong Jr. released summer 1982. It was a sequel, of course, to Donkey Kong, developed by Shigeru Miyamoto and Gunpei Yokoi. I don't know if Nintendo programmed it, because I know, was it Shosinki something or other programmed Donkey Kong? That wasn't Nintendo, so I don't know if they did this too. Because, I didn't know this. They took some concepts and full stages that they couldn't fit in a Donkey Kong and made a new game out of it. That I just found out when I looked it up on the Wikipedia. So, in the game, you play as Donkey Kong Jr., son of Donkey Kong. DK has been captured by the evil Mario, and Donkey Kong Jr. has to rescue him. There are 4 screens in the arcade game. Donkey Kong Jr. has to climb on vines, chains, ropes to get through the screen to unlock Donkey Kong cage at the top of each screen. Mario sends different enemies and obstacles to try and thwart Donkey Kong Jr., including Snapjaws, Nitpickers, and Sparks. Donkey Kong Jr. can jump over the enemies on platforms in the arcade game, switch vines to avoid them, or drop fruits on them in the arcade game. In the Japanese original, when Donkey Kong Jr. finishes the 4th screen, Donkey Kong is set free and he kicks Mario off the screen, and then you begin again at screen 1. And I don't know why they did this, but in Donkey Kong Jr., just like Donkey Kong, the American version has the screens out of order and repeats some before all of them are played. It's very strange.
Yeah. Well, we just can't have things normal.
Yeah, I don't know why that is.
I don't know. Maybe they did some sort of market testing and they thought, oh, this is too hard. We want them to get into it. But that's just dumb, right? Kids
well, if it's too hard, that's the point of an arcade game. You want to get the quarters.
Well, of course. Yeah. That's the same thing with Donkey Kong, too, right? They changed the order. depending on.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So-
I think Donkey Kong Jr. was the first licensed video game Pez, what's that called? Dispenser. You could get it from Donkey Kong cereal. You send it away for it.
A Pez? A Donkey Kong? What do you?
Donkey Kong Jr. Pez. Yep.
I didn't know that.
Huh.
Okay.
I think it was just a rework of a 60s monkey or something.
Or just put a DKGR on there. There we go. JR.
They put the J on his hat.
There we go. That's John the monkey. Or Harvey the monkey. So, what's been your experience with the arcade game, Ferg?
Well, I'm glad you asked me that question, Willie. This is the this is the first game, or maybe the only arcade game I know when and where I played it for the first time. It was in Sterling Roller Rink in Sterling, Virginia. I think it was August of 1982. And I don't like roller skating. I didn't then either. So I had roller skates on, but I went, made a beeline for as much as I could beeline with roller skates on to the arcade area, which was pretty big, because it was 1982.
Coming in hot.
Yeah. And I saw Donkey Kong Jr. That was the first time I had ever seen it. I didn't know it was coming out because back then we didn't know that stuff really, or I didn't because I didn't read any of the magazines. I didn't know there were any video game magazines. But I saw it, and I was like, oh, I got to play this because Donkey Kong's my favorite one. So I put my quarter in, and I played the first stage, figured out what to do, got past it pretty easily, got to the next stage with the keys, and got past that one pretty easily too. And I kept playing and playing and playing, and I got a really good score. And it was my first time ever playing it. And when I stopped, I turned around, there was a bunch of kids watching me because they had never seen anybody play it that well before, I guess. And they wanted me to play it again. I was like, I thought to myself, I was 12 years old, but I knew that there was no way that I was going to be able to do that again. And so one of them even offered me a quarter to play again. I was like,
wow.
No thanks. I gotta go.
Mic drop and walk away.
Yeah.
Leave them one and more. That's how you do it.
You can read a version of the story in the Digital Press Guide, Volume 6.
Where'd that voice come from? It's weird.
Did we hire a voiceover guy?
I guess we did. Ferg's used to talking to himself on his show, so it happens.
Words, I don't have time to read them. So what about you, Mr. Reynolds?
Well, as is common on this show, I don't remember the first time I played this game or where or what, but I remember playing it at some point. So, I'd played Donkey Kong, and I think at this point I had already seen like Crazy Kong, and didn't know what that was. Right?
Yeah.
I remember watching. What is that? So anyway, so here comes Donkey Kong Jr., and you're kind of like, what is this going to be? And I got to admit, Donkey Kong Jr. is not one of my favorites. And I think there's just something about the transition from Donkey Kong to Donkey Kong Jr., where Jr. moves slower. He doesn't jump very high. It's a different kind of rhythm or a different kind of pacing as you're moving him around. And for whatever reason, that never grabbed me. So I was kind of like, it just didn't do much for me. So I don't have a lot of history of playing Donkey Kong Jr. until like the more modern day when I made my own main cab and stuff like that. And that's when I started playing it a lot more and kind of appreciating it a bit more, I guess. But it does have a different feel than Donkey Kong, which is I think that's good for a franchise. If it's the same thing baked over and over again, it's a little less exciting. So I remember playing it, but I'm sorry, Willie, I can't give you dates and times like for a game.
Oh, what about you, Paul?
Well, I do remember seeing it, and I find that story kind of odd that they say it was like leftover screens that they couldn't use in Donkey Kong because they're so unrelated. I don't know how much they would have reworked them with bringing in the junior character and all that. Kind of like Rick, I remember I didn't go to arcades a lot. We would go to a few, like Shakey's Pizza had some games. I don't remember seeing this there. I think it was this place that was called Old Town Mall. and town had an E on the end. That's how old it was. And I think old had an E on the end as well. But
Oldie townies.
they had a great arcade, and I know they must have had this, but the thing I remember the most actually was my friend who had ColecoVision before I did. He got this, and we played the heck out of it on ColecoVision. And so I feel like that's more what I think of DK Jr. than I do the arcade. Of course, now I've played on MAME, and I've played it at expos and things like that. I don't own one. I don't know that I would own one. It's not my favorite type of game. I do enjoy the arcade one. I kind of suck at the arcade one. It is pretty hard. But a lot of time on the Coleco. So that's basically it. No real info. I don't have a distinct, like some games I have a distinct memory of where and when, but this one, no.
No.
What about you, Will?
Well, having a dad that's buddies with a guy who owns an arcade, I was able to play a lot of these games before anybody else. And this is one of the ones that came into the arcade that I was able to play before anybody else did.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of like it. I can't play it worth a darn. That freaking springboard is the bane of my existence. Trying to get by that screen. It's either the springboard will get me, or trying to jump over to grab one of those chains that moves back and forth halfway up the screen.
Yeah.
That's usually where I die the most. My favorite screen in the arcade game is climbing the chains and pushing the keys up to the locks.
Yeah.
I find that so satisfying in a kind of a strange way. I don't know. I just like putting those keys in the locks. I think it's a neat gameplay mechanic.
Yeah, it is, and then the sound effect and the rope sort of snapping. Cool.
Yeah, I really like that chain screen. If it was nothing but the chain screen, I'd be happy. I could play that the best. But no, it's a very enjoyable arcade game. It's one I'll go back to on MAME every once in a while, even though I can't play it worth a darn, just because I like that chain screen. And growing up, I mainly played it on my Atari 8-bit, that version. Even though I did have it on the 2600, I mainly played it on my 8-bit computer.
Smart.
Yeah.
For the best, really.
I would say graphically, the arcade game surpassed the original Donkey Kong as far as look and the colors and everything like that. And it was impressive to see in the movement and the sounds. It was really I like the animation of Donkey Kong Jr. when he gets hit by something, his eyes change sizes and stuff. And that cracked me up the first time I saw it. They did a good job updating the Donkey Kong game to the Donkey Kong Jr. And if you think about it, it's like playing a story. You play the original Donkey Kong. When you finally rescue Pauline, then you can move over after Mario kidnaps Donkey Kong to rescue your dad. So it's like a continuation of a story, which is kind of cool. Now, what they did with Donkey Kong 3 by spraying bug spray and stuff, that totally lost me.
Yeah, no Mario.
Yeah, that kind of freaks me out. But anyway.
Is it? I know, we're going to do the Mario thing.
No, boy.
Oh, no.
I'm fine with either way.
About that?
Because I would say Mario, but I'm fine with Mario because
Mario.
I watch a lot of hockey, and
Mario.
Either one is fine with me. I know you've gotten some questions on your show, and people get really upset about that.
They do. Mario Perillo, that's why.
I'm fine with either one. I just wanted to know the consensus. Willie, do you say Mario or do you say Mario? Willie? Hello?
I'm not going to say anything. This is one of the reasons why I stopped podcasting.
Okay,
this
I know that
shit.
Rick and Ferg say Mario. I say Mario. Most of the commercials I've seen say Mario, but... Most, not all, you're right. But I'm just curious. No one's judging here, Willie. It's a safe space for you.
I'm a Pittsburgher, so Mario Lemieux means it's Mario.
There you go.
That's what I know it from, hockey. So it sounds natural to me either way.
I mean, I don't watch hockey. I don't watch sports at all. But you couldn't be in Pittsburgh in the '90s and not hear about Mario Lemieux.
Yes.
Right, but you also say Jindagel or whatever you say for giant eagle.
Heading on down to Jindagel.
So you've got problems there.
Yeah.
Rick and I got together not long ago, by the way. We went to Corks. I flew out.
Right.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I went to a Giant Eagle with my sister because I stayed with her after the expo. Went to my sister's place, which is a couple hours away from where Korg's happens. But Giant Eagle was there too.
Yeah, Rick was doing the virtual Willy thing for me again. He was shopping for me.
I wish I'd found something for you. Well,
Yeah.
It was just,
there's really nothing I'm really looking for, so it's...
Yeah.
It was really short on Coleco stuff.
Yeah.
I was too busy shopping for C-Mart from our podcast.
Oh, right.
Oh, my God. The guy's insane.
Secret shoppers.
Go back and look at that box. Let me see the back. Let me see the edge. Open it up. Let me see inside. Oh, that's a different cartridge retention thing than I have in my other one.
Wow. Well, I'm not
Mental
that bad.
illness. Oh, he's lost it.
Rick be like, screw you. I'm going to have fun.
Yeah, right.
He's in Vancouver, right?
Yeah.
I got to tell you this
He
quick.
says Mario also.
There was a podcast I was listening to called Sneaky Dragon. They're based out of Vancouver. They were talking about, it's just like a basic, they just talk about their lives and stuff. And they were talking about Intellivision and Atari, and they were saying how, like, well, there isn't any Intellivision stuff anywhere. And I was thinking to myself, well, C-Mart has all of it, probably.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. He's got a lot of virtual shoppers.
Yeah.
I just got this picture of him in his den, surrounded by Intellivision games. Oh, my precious.
You're not very far off.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Oh, great. Every time I hear it now, I'm going to think of Gollum. I don't know what he looks like.
There is glass separating him from said Intellivision items, but yeah, you're right.
Oh, man. So we're going to move on to the...
Sorry.
to the packaging, starting off with the Atari 2600. So, Ferg, what do you think? Well, we have two boxes here, I see.
We do, yes.
Yeah. We have
Donkey Kong was released by Coleco first.
Yep.
And then Atari got the rights somehow in the late 80s, and they put it out. So the art is different on both. The Coleco one is your usual red box with the... I think that's from the bezel, the art. And I never realized... Yeah. I never realized the snap jaws were metal.
What do you think they were?
In both pictures. I thought they were just like little animals. The weird little animals.
Metal. I got that.
Okay.
Sure.
I kind of thought they were some sort of animals too, but yeah, that makes sense that they're metal.
So that's the Coleco one. It has the picture of the arcade and the art from the arcade game. The 2600 one, I don't know who did the art here, but it's pretty weird. And Mario looks, I don't know what that handlebar mustache is all about, but he's holding a big key, and Donkey Kong himself looks pretty manic in his little carrot with the block on it. And Junior's down there in his little diaper. It's a diaper that he has on, right? Is that right?
Yeah, or a onesie. A onesie.
Yeah.
I think there may have been an incident with the key and some lubrication, and Donkey Kong enjoyed it. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Look,
there's a fruit flying through the air, sir, not appearing in this game.
Yeah. It's kind of dark.
Yeah. That's why it's dark, because it's like, they won't notice that it's
Black
not in there.
fruit. That's why Donkey Kong's smiling. You know.
That's not one of the fruits that's on the vine
poo.
that you...
That's a piece of poo.
So yeah, it's pretty cartoonish.
In general, Ferg, do the brown box re-release Ataris or any of them really? I mean, do you find you don't like the look of those boxes versus the original, or you red box, whatever you want to call them? I call them brown, but burgundy box.
I'm not sure what do you mean.
Well, there was the era when Atari released a lot of stuff, and they all had that style.
Right.
That color. I'm just saying in general, not specific to this game. Do you have a preference as far as Atari 2600 boxes? Do you like that one? Or they...
The original, like, rainbow ones with the text labels and picture labels, yeah.
Yeah, that's my preference.
Yep. Yeah, I like the originals as well.
Yeah, the Mario character like in the original one, the red one, he looks more like Super Mario Brothers, Mario. But then this is that I gotta say, I don't like the weird handlebar mustache Mario. I've never liked that look. I don't know what that is. There's some art of him like with his fist up in the air and he's like, he looks like very like 1930s or something. I don't know what's going on.
Looks like Snidely Whiplash.
Yeah, it's a very strange art
wacky
style.
racers.
I've never liked that one.
Yeah, get the keys. Yeah. Yeah, I much prefer the original release box, mainly because it has the arcade game on the front. That's what I like about those red boxes from Coleco.
I'm not sure when this one came out, but I know the early Coleco boxes had 2 versions, but this one, I don't think this one does.
The CBS version different at all?
Probably, I would imagine. Oh no, this came out in '83. Okay. But yeah, I think the CBS probably are the same. But there was, I think the original ones had the arcade, and then some. Oh, crap! Now I can't remember. Sorry, go on.
Maybe that other voice from Beyond can come in and explain it.
Someone contact the voiceover guy. Get him in.
He was here a minute ago.
So
Monty Python music, and then we go look.
Yeah. Like Rock and Rope, doesn't have the arcade game on the front of it.
It does. Is that what you said?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, it doesn't. Oh,
no,
okay.
It has like a big full box art on it.
Oh, that's right. It was like the last 2
it's one of the
games,
last
I think.
ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Mousetrap I have had 2 different red Coleco boxes.
Yeah.
I remember that one having 2 different ones. The one I have, the Donkey Kong Jr., it came from CBS, that video club.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, buy 5 games for a penny, we'll take an arm and a leg for the next 2 years.
Wow.
Yep.
So moving on to the Intellivision Box. We'll let Rick talk about this one.
Well, it's like the original Atari box with a blue background.
Blue background.
And, of course, that beloved pink sash that is so... that we all love, that talks about for use with Intellivision or Intellivision 2. I think this one actually does work with the Intellivision 2. Is that right, Paul?
Yeah, I don't think this was one of the ones that was affected by that lockout.
Okay. Yeah, because it's always funny when you find a box from Coleco, Intellivision or Intellivision 2, and then it has a sticker on it, not for Intellivision 2.
Which is great, because not only did Mattel make their games not work, they made them spend money on hundreds of thousands of yellow stickers.
Yeah, exactly. So this one does not have that problem. So yeah, it's the same as the Atari one. I think it works a little better than the Atari red one, just because the arcade cab is orange. And so against the blue, I think the arcade cab pops out a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree with that.
And no one mentioned it, but like I really like that it looks like the characters from the game are jumping out of the screen of the arcade cab, the way they've done the art there. So like most of I've talked about this before, but most of the Coleco boxes, the art they put on them is just, here's the arcade cab, kids. You want arcade games? Here it is. And that's it. They've done a little bit more by putting a little bit of extra on there, which I kind of like.
Yeah, I agree. I like the look. The Coleco boxes are cool. They're sort of iconic at this point with the pink sash, as you said.
It's beautiful.
They're terrible quality boxes. Definitely weren't designed to last 40+ years.
All of mine are falling apart.
They're awful. They just tear apart at the top, but it must make C-Mark crazy.
Are they gatefold boxes or no?
No.
Okay.
You have to actually tear a perforation to get into them. So.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're always garbage at the top.
For 2600. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it does the job. It shows the game. It's no different than any other Coleco box. I mean, it definitely shows a much better game than you're going to get when you open it.
Yes, always.
Can you just imagine Seymour as a kid getting a brand new game? Oh, I don't want to cut this open. But I really want to play it. Oh, no.
Mom, can you buy me another shelving?
Buy me another one.
I want to see it on the shelf. I want to...
I don't know if he listens to this show. We're going to have to tell him to.
Right.
Of course,
Need help, sir.
Of course, in our notes, Ferg had me going because he put pictures of overlays with this box. I was like, wait a minute, mine don't have overlays. Until I was told that came with the homebrew version of Donkey Kong Jr.
Looking at the ones in the dock, I think the top one was the guy who made Psycho Stormtrooper.
Yeah, he does
then
stuff.
Yeah, then the other one on the bottom is when Intellivision Revolution did one a couple years ago, the homebrew one. So the top one is just, here's an overlay that never came with your original version. They're both cool. I think the bottom one is kind of neater.
Yeah. So now we're going to talk about the box art for the ColecoVision one. This one is, compared to the other two boxes, it's kind of plain. You don't have any of those characters coming out the screen or nothing.
Yeah.
No sash.
No sash. It's just Donkey Kong Jr. Here's a picture of the arcade game, which I like this kind of stuff. I like the extra details that the other two boxes had. So, not my favorite box art.
I like the background colors. That's it.
Black.
The black and
gray.
gray. Yeah.
You know why they don't have the characters jumping out? Because they replaced it with plays like the real arcade game, because they can't say that about the other two.
Well, yeah. There's
especially the first one. Yeah, that's right.
And to me, this is Donkey Kong Jr. because I bought this one when I got my ColecoVision in '82, and all their boxes look like this, which is kind of a cool. It's like Intellivision, right? It's like a uniform style. Same with Atari until they changed. It is very plain, but to me this says, hey, this is the home version of DK Jr.
I just can't see you buying ColecoVision games back then.
I bought it when it came out in '82. I still had the Intellivision.
Was this slumming for you or something?
No, my buddy across the street had it. I thought it was cool, but we were both very disappointed in the 4 sprite disappearing thing. But otherwise, we liked the games.
Hey, Paul, come here. I've got this new ColecoVision game for you. You want to buy it? Yeah, yes.
No, I spent my own hard-earned money on it. I think I bought a couple of. I know Minor 2049 was one of the first games I bought. It was one of the first. I think that was the first third-party ColecoVision release. I mean, I still have my original and all my original games.
Oh, that is so cool. I wish I would have got into the ColecoVision back then, but I was into my Atari computer at the time. But I enjoyed playing the games on the demo kiosk, especially Smurf Rescue. I played that a lot at JCPenney on the demo kiosk.
I like that game.
But
I was just going to say, you mentioned the Atari, because that was the order I went. 2600, Intellivision, ColecoVision, then Atari 8-bit computers, and then that was it for consoles for a while.
Wow.
Yeah, I went from Pong to the little video pinball dedicated console, Stunt Cycle, then to a Telstar, and then to the Fairchild Channel F.
Oh yeah.
Bally Astrocade 2600. Then I went to the Atari 8-bit after that. Why I talked about that, I have no idea. I've been taking
because I mentioned it. Oh. Well, it's interesting to hear the progression, right? Because, I mean, we all started with something, and I started with the Mattel handhelds that we were chatting about earlier.
Yeah, I almost got a
and the
collection
Milton
of
Bradley. I know you've got it. I've watched the videos, and I'm jealous. The Milton Bradley things, the electronic battleship, I had that as a kid, and of course I had the Pong stuff too, and I had a Telstar Colortron, which we did on one of your shows. We did a video or talked about it at some point.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so I don't know. I still like the system. There was a long time where I didn't play ColecoVision, and then getting back into this stuff in the late 90s, early 2000s, and got back into it.
Yeah,
still enjoy it.
In the early 2000s, I had a friend that I worked with. He had his ColecoVision, a bunch of games. He wanted to get rid of it, so he asked me to sell it for him on eBay. So I brought it all over, hooked everything up, tested all the games out and stuff like that. I was like, dang, this is kind of cool. I ended up buying it off of him.
Yeah.
That's how I got my first ColecoVision.
Well, what I know we're just talking about the box now, but we kind of went off on a tangent. But
that's what we do.
What about you? That's fine though. I was going to say, Ferg and Rick, did you have experience with ColecoVision or this game back then, or no?
No, not at all.
My cousin had a ColecoVision. That's the only person I knew with a ColecoVision, and so we played the crap out of it at Thanksgiving or something. That first year. Yeah. And I think he had Donkey Kong and a Smurf Rescue.
Oh yeah, there you go.
And oh my gosh, we played but did not play Donkey Kong Jr. back then on this system.
Gotcha.
So
all right.
Now we're going to talk about. Of course, one of my here I go again off on a tangent. One of my favorite dedicated home consoles is probably that video pinball.
Yes, I love that.
I love that thing. I got the wood grain one here, complete in the box. I sold the other one, the white one. Got rid of that one. I think I gave Ferg a white one.
Yep.
Yeah. I think you gave me one.
I think I gave Rick one.
You get a white one.
But Paul's got a story.
Yeah, at Korg's. Before the show opened, we were wandering around at the vendors, and this guy had a way up high. He had some seriously high shelves in that place. Interesting, but and he didn't know if it worked. Took it down. It was complete in box, white one. Looked barely played because I'm guessing someone bought it right before other Channel F came out and other things, and then they abandoned it. But it was pristine. I mean, I opened it up and did a little deoxit on the contacts and things like that, and just checked all the connections, and the thing works perfectly. It's great. I've always wanted to get one, and the fact that this one was like almost new in box was amazing.
Cool. It's a neat little dedicated console. I like playing that basketball type game on there, where you got to toss the ball into the little hoop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Flipper buttons. I love playing that game. Of course, Breakout. Absolutely love Breakout. It's one of the best ways to play it is on that little dedicated console.
And when at Korg's, we were right next to Steve Averett, Wired Up Retro on YouTube, and not his choice. I mean, he was next to Rick last time, but he couldn't get out of it. We couldn't arrange. Everybody was just, they had to be where they had to be. So
someone's got to be by me. That's just the nature of the map. So I mean,
there was a lot of arguing at the front door during setup. But what he told me that he had done, because he brought this controller that's. And I asked you, Willie, whether you had done this one. It's a Jag controller with a spinner.
Oh, yeah.
But the spinner felt great. And I'm like, why does this feel so heavy? He's like, I put fishing weights underneath.
Whoa.
So when I got this Atari pinball home, I actually have my old tackle box from when I was a kid. I haven't gone fishing in decades, but I found the little weights. So they're vintage, and I stuck them inside the underside of the little paddle, like 4 of them, and you turn it now, and it's weighted, and it feels great.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good little modification to do to those.
Yeah. Yep,
real good idea.
That is a cool little game.
Yeah, it is. Anyway, welcome to the
dedicated console.
Somebody remember Donkey Kong Jr.? What was that again?
Well, we're just trying to avoid talking about it, I think.
Well, Rick was around at Korg's when I was there, and I picked up that complete box Telegame motocross stunt cycle.
Oh yeah, I remember.
That thing was mint. It's awesome. Anyway, we're going to talk about the graphics. Ferg, what about the Atari?
Okay. Well, the graphics. This is the original Donkey Kong was 4K, done by Gary Kitchen. This one's 8K, done by Harley Puthoff or Puthoff. I'm not sure how he pronounces his name. But he used the same Gingerbread Man and Mario as Gary Kitchen made. The Donkey Kong Jr. looks like a blob. There's no fruit. Everything is pretty much one color, and it doesn't look great. Everything looks like a line, basically. The vines, the platforms, the chains, everything is a line. It's just a different colored line. Not the greatest graphic-looking game. But there's 3 screens in it.
Well, that's more than the original Donkey Kong had on the 2600.
Yes. And the weird thing is that the 3rd screen is not the 3rd screen that all the other ones have.
Oh,
which is great. Yeah, because I guess there was too much in that one jungle screen to go on it. Although I don't think anybody dropped any eggs of these 3 versions. I don't think.
No.
Or the 2 versions that had that screen. But yeah, it's not good.
I would not have tolerated a springboard screen on the 2600.
Oh.
I was kind of disappointed with the chain screen.
Yeah.
Basically, you only got like 3 keys, and
Yeah.
you got to be directly underneath one of the keys and push it up. You can't do 2 keys at once.
Nope.
Which kind of ruined it for me. It's like, okay.
But the bird only flies along the bottom, so that's good.
Yeah.
But you got to watch out when you start the
Yes.
when you start that screen.
Yeah.
God.
Yes.
We still talking graphics, Willie?
Yes. Yep. Still talking
Yeah.
graphics.
My top note. I see the gingerbread man is back.
And he moves back and forth at every step that Donkey Kong Jr. takes, just like Mario and Donkey Kong.
Yeah. I noticed that. I think the same thing happens in the Intellivision port. That as soon as Donkey Kong Jr. moves, that's when
Okay.
he moves around. So I don't know if you've seen Classic Game Room channel on YouTube. He did a review of this, and I watched his review. And he said you could call this Sasquatch Climbs the Vine, and not call it DK Jr.
No one would know.
It's like, it would
It's a
totally
new
work.
game.
And yeah, it looks a little bit like Sasquatch. I don't know what's going on there with Donkey Kong Jr. Does not look like a monkey to me, or an ape. I did notice that, like, when the animation, like, particularly you notice it when he's walking on something, that, like, he flails like his back leg out in the back. Like, it's
Yes.
really weird.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's 2 frames of animation. His leg flipping out in the back. It's very strange. We'll get to gameplay later, I'm sure. But like, yeah, his walking made me just wonder what is going on. Some kind of spastic thing going on there.
Oh yeah, it's not pretty. When he's standing still, he looks like a duck with a football helmet. when he's walking, it's like a mix of Homer Simpson and an Egyptian Bigfoot. That's what I see. It's just, yeah, the climbing, it's the look, it's all lines, and I guess they couldn't do the jungle one because they can't make a tree out of lines. Because apparently this guy really liked lines. But yeah, I know we're not talking play mechanics, but it's not Donkey Kong Jr. And the 2600 even then was capable of way better than this graphically. Yeah. But I will say on the positive, the score looks really clear. I like that.
Well, they only show it, in between when you're not playing the game.
Well, do what they could do.
Yeah.
So
he did do Time Pilot, so that looks pretty good, I think.
I can't picture that one. It can't be worse than this.
He must have been having a better week that week, because like. So the I forget what they're called, the jaw things, the jaw snappers. Yeah, they're just like weird squared off letter C's or something. Like
Yep.
That's really strange looking.
Yeah.
At first I saw them and they were just so it reminded me of like just kind of like just abstract enemy, right, made out of some lines. Like the enemies in Beam Rider when they're like far off. And it's just like a couple of lines, and you're like, okay, I don't know what it is, but I got to shoot it.
Yeah.
This thing it's like, I don't know what it is, but it's coming for me. So, and then I remembered, oh yeah, Donkey Kong Jr. had those trap things with the teeth on them. I guess that's what that's supposed to be.
It looked like the narrow staple gun staples. Because there's different widths that you can buy for those staple guns. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, for like upholstery stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh dear. So that
What do you think, Willie? What are your comments on the graphics?
Oh, I've said what I had to say about it.
Okay.
So now, talk about the Intellivision graphics. I'll let Paul take this one away.
Okay then. Well, it's definitely better. It's a step up from the 2600 for sure.
Oh yes, it is.
Just more colors, if nothing else.
Yeah, it's colorful.
Yeah, that's true.
Junior is definitely wearing a full body onesie diaper there, which I guess if you look at the artwork, but yeah, it doesn't work well for me. You got Pretzel Man back for Donkey Kong at the top.
Yeah.
Can I
I
wrote down, like, I don't know what's going on with Donkey Kong. It's like, I looked at it and I thought, it looks kind of like a spider that's missing 4 legs or something. Like,
yeah.
Like, what is that? And of course, he never moves. Anyway.
No.
I don't think he moves. Maybe he moves a little. I can't. Something moves.
I don't think so. I don't recall him moving.
Yeah.
You just want to look away when you see him, so maybe he did move.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to Mario.
Big nose.
Yeah, we've discussed this before recording in messaging, but I mean, I'm seeing Boo Berry with a hat. I'm seeing Heat Miser's brother, the cold guy.
Yeah, Cold Miser, the little cold Miser guy.
Yeah. And Rick, you can tell him what you're seeing.
Yeah, so I thought I've seen this somewhere, and it hit me. I think it's Andy Capp.
Oh, yeah.
Comic strips.
A very cold Andy Capp.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's freezing. But, like, he's got the cap down just about over his eyes. You know, the brim goes out to his nose. His nose sticks out that far. Yeah, I was thinking Andy Capp, but I was also thinking about somebody with a bulbous nose, and I wasn't sure if it was the guy from Scrapyard Dog from the 7800 with that big round nose on the front of his face. Mm. But, like, he's missing the hat, so it doesn't quite work. But yeah, I think it was Andy Capp.
Yeah. If we're talking animation too with the graphics, something's wrong with Junior's jumping. It's not fluid. It's questionable physics. There's something happening mid jump that he just kind of gets all jerky, and it's colorful. They have multicolors. They have the fruits look good. The chains are decent. The keys. It's trying, right? You've got some semblance of trees in the jungle thing there.
Yes.
But it could be better, but I would say for the era and comparing it to other Coleco titles, and I have something to say about this, by the way, it's not horrible.
Except that it's kind of horrible. I mean, comparatively, I hear what you're saying. But, you know, since we're talking graphics, I think maybe this fits here. Like, everybody knows on this show that I'm the guy that is the butt of the jokes, particularly of not safe for work kind of jokes. So I hate to be the guy to bring up the not safe for work stuff, but like when he's climbing and he's only on one pole or rope or whatever another, I don't know what he's doing to that chain or that vine, but it is making me feel disturbed. I don't enjoy watching this weird humping, thrusting thing he's got going on when he's only on one. That bothers me. I'm just going to say that.
He's excited about the key that Mario has from the 2600 box.
Well, now we know where his mind is all the time. I didn't even think about that.
Like I say, I don't
want
that guy today, okay?
Wow.
Well, so I mentioned the Coleco book, the official book by Antoine Clerc Renault and Jean-François Dupuis, right?
Yep. Oh.
So there's this section in the end. Hey, I took French in high school many years ago.
Very nice. Very nice.
So there are several interviews with folks who worked for Coleco back then, and Janelle Jaques.
Yep.
We've heard her before.
Yep.
So she was mentioning, she's at the context where she was talking about the crash and how Coleco started backing out of doing things. But she did mention that when they were working on the Intellivision stuff, she says, we also definitely got out of doing Intellivision products because nobody liked working on those. So there you go.
Wow.
Vindication. Proof that they did a shitty job on purpose.
Wow.
Former employee.
There we go. That's funny. Well, I'm just happy that the chain screen looks halfway decent.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's not bad. I agree.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy about that. That's pretty much the only thing I'm happy about, but yeah.
You know, speaking of the graphics screen and you know the comment I made about when he's climbing one rope, like in the arcade when he's climbing one rope, it's not an undulating kind of movement. It's just like he's like squeaking his way up little by little, right? I don't know where they got this idea that he needed to do this weird thrusting, humping motion thing as he's going up these lines. I don't know. It's very strange and not arcade-like. I don't get it.
Rick, before we record Crush of Lucifer, we're going to have a talk.
You're gonna Willie's ready for an intervention.
It's time for the talk.
Oh, man. I hope this won't be too embarrassing for me.
So, what do you think about the graphics, Ferg?
Well, they're night and day compared to the 2600 version. I like the albino quadriplegic spider. I like the turtle that you play as.
Turtle Kong Jr.
Yeah. I like the grass platforms and was that a palm tree, I guess?
That's a little rough, right?
He asked the 2600 guy, how do you make a palm tree? Well, here's some lines. Try that.
That'll work.
But it is definitely better than the 2600.
Yeah, the low bar.
Yeah.
That is true.
All right.
Willie, any comments about the graphics on the television before we move on?
Oh, like I said, I like the change screen.
Yeah.
That's probably the only thing I really like about the game.
Like chains.
I absolutely detest that springboard screen from any
good Lord.
version of this game. On any console, I hate the springboard screen.
Yeah, it's terrible in television. We'll get to that in gameplay, I'm sure. But
Yeah. Now, the ColecoVision version. Now, this looks a lot like the arcade.
Mm-hmm.
Donkey Kong Jr. has multiple colors. It's a very well-detailed sprite. Donkey Kong looks kind of like Donkey Kong. You got single-color snapshots, though, but you do have the fruit. And the overall layout of the game graphically looks really good. The change screen is really close to the arcade, the way it looks and the way it reacts. As you put the keys in, you'll see the lines disappearing. It's restraining Donkey Kong, which that's one of the things I like about the arcade version, is that little bit of animation.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, it does have that friggin' springboard screen, so I don't really get far in this game. So when we get to high scores, it's not going to be pretty. So, Ferg, what do you think about the ColecoVision graphics?
Oh, like you said, it looks a lot like the arcade game, especially the first screen. It's all there, unlike the Donkey Kong. They cut off the top girder on that one. I don't know if this was easier to do because everything is straight and not crooked like the girders are. But did you say the keys disappear into the locks? Because they don't in the other two, right?
They just go below it. Yeah.
Oh,
these
in
go
this one
into the
too?
locks. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
in this one they go into the locks.
They go into the locks.
Into the locks.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah, and to that point, like, that's an odd choice, right? Like, the programmer made a choice to not have it disappear off the screen and change the color of the lock. Like, that's not, right? I mean, it's not like it's a memory limitation or something weird like that. That's a programming choice to, when you push the key up to the top and just stop there instead of 8 more pixels up and have it disappear, right? I mean, that's really strange.
I guess so, yeah.
Well, this is the standard for the graphics as far as any of these things, obviously. I mean, Mario looks good. I'm just not quite sure why he's wearing big white pointed shoe, like a gnome shoe. But
Yeah. Oh, man, I never noticed that.
Speed skating skates?
Yeah, something going on, a Shriner, I don't know. But
A very long, uncut toenail.
He's that guy in the Guinness Book, right? With the
No.
But I know it's supposed to be a rope, right?
It's supposed to be a whip.
I guess, but it's just
rope,
that doesn't work, like that graphic.
Work.
But I don't have much criticisms otherwise. I mean, Junior looks good. Donkey Kong certainly looks good up there. The colors are bright. Everything looks like it should. The chains look different than the vines. The fruit looks good. There is the issue when you get a little bit of the sprite flicker or cancellation stuff.
Yes.
There's something in the book about that too. Would you like to hear that?
Wait, there's flicker in a ColecoVision game?
Oh my gosh.
One of your listeners, who always does voicemail stuff, he was talking about, I forget which game it was. The saying it was so unplayable on the ColecoVision because of the flicker. I can't remember which one it was. But anyway.
This game?
Yes. No,
Really?
not this game. No, a different game.
Oh. Okay.
They did a good job, but in the interview section of the book I mentioned before, someone named Frank Lamb, who did graphics work, He says, we also had to be careful not to have more than 4 sprites on a horizontal scan line. Otherwise, we would have an issue we referred to as fifth spriting, a concern where the fifth lowest priority sprite will disappear or flicker multiplex until one of those sprites moves away from the horizontal convergence.
Wow.
Well, that's what the problem with it. That's what bummed me out about the ColecoVision.
AKA flicker.
Right.
Well, it's kind of disappearing. Like if you play it, you see it in this game a little bit. Like if Junior's climbing next to
it's a gameplay mechanic to make it more challenging.
It's like in a shadow, like there's an eclipse happening for a second. but it doesn't. This one they did it well. It doesn't completely disappear. It doesn't detract from the gameplay. And graphically, it's. I have no issues really with the other than the word Shriner shoe.
When people walk behind me, I eclipse them. So there we go. They're being flickered.
That could be it.
So now, gameplay and sounds. Oh, here we go.
Oh boy.
2600 version. Okay, for gameplay and sounds.
And combining those two categories.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we usually do. Yeah.
Ouch.
Well, the sounds are they're okay. They're better than the 7800 version, that's for sure. You have the opening, was it Toccata and Fugue in this one, I think? No. Yeah, Toccata and Fugue, you get a little bit of that, which is in tune, and then you get, I think, one of the end screen tunes, which is not in tune, but that's...
Right.
You tried.
They tried.
Well, the 2600 has a limitation, right? It doesn't have the full normal scale that you have to pick and choose.
Right, but it's only one monophonic. Is that right? Monochromatic.
Monochromatic.
Sure.
Yeah, it's only one channel. One channel. That's it. Gameplay. Let's see. Well, there is the thing that annoyed me the most about this was that you could not hold the joystick to the right and go across the bunch of vines if you wanted to. You had to keep pushing it to the right. I don't know why. I don't know how hard that is to program, but that was really annoying. That's not how the game is played, especially if you had a regular key and lock screen, that would be an issue, but it's not really with this game. It's weird. There's, I think Rick mentioned this in the chat. There's only one way you can go on the first screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're hiding up on the top right of the first screen, don't hide there because they'll come right across the gap and get you. That happened to me a couple times when I was playing this. I think my favorite screen is the Sparks one. That seemed to be the easiest one to get through. And I guess is the most challenging one, although I died a lot on the first screen because the... what's that called? The... oh, God, it's getting old.
The staple gun staples?
Yeah, no, you don't get any points for jumping over those guys, I don't think.
Yeah.
The hit detection is very sensitive, unlike the ColecoVision. But, yeah, it's not terrible. I don't think it's terrible, but it's not good either.
You mean overall gameplay? Overall
gameplay, yeah. The sounds, I like the sounds. Like I said, not as bad as 7800, but yeah, the gameplay is not great. There's only the bird in the lock screen just goes across the bottom of the screen. That's it. There's no going across any part of the screen besides the bottom. And like we said before, you have to get the hell out of the way when you first start that screen, or else you're going to die.
But interestingly, like if you're on the line, the chain, the line. Mm-hmm. If you're on it, the bird will not touch you, even though he clearly hits you. Like it doesn't.
Oh, really?
You're safe from the bird if you're on the rope at all.
I thought I died when I was on. Maybe I didn't. No, maybe you're right. Okay, yeah.
I think you're right. I didn't notice that, but you're right. In retrospect, now thinking about it,
was very weird because I had similar notes with Ferg about it being pretty aggressive on the sprite collision, except in this case where as long as you're on it, it's fine.
Does the bird go faster than you? I don't think so. Is it? Maybe it does.
No, I
don't think it does. No? I think it's the same speed as it runs.
Okay.
As you run, yeah.
Okay.
Because I spent a lot of time running across the bottom of the screen trying to get away from them.
Yeah. There's no fruit on the vine. You know, you can't drop any fruits or anything like that. And
you should really stop calling it a vine.
yeah, no fruit on the line.
Fruit on the line.
Was this the one where if you jumped onto the vine up top, you had to push yourself up, or else you'd get hit by a snapjaw? Or was that the Intellivision? I can't remember.
Good question. I thought it was both, but maybe it was only one of them.
Because I think in the arcade it's automatic, right? Like the ColecoVision version.
You're talking like the upper right?
As soon as you climb up where the key is, as soon as you jump on that, you automatically go up, I think, in the arcade version.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I think you have to push up on all these, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
That's what I thought I remember, too.
You definitely have to push up on the Intellivision because I got killed several times.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the one I was thinking of then. Sorry. Yeah. Yep. What do you guys think of this one?
Well, gameplay-wise, like you said, I find it kind of hard to control Donkey Kong Jr. when you have to keep pushing the joystick.
Yeah.
Let off, push it, let off, and like he's stepping across. It makes it a little bit harder for me to jump. I end up jumping out in the middle of nowhere, falling. I even tried to get a little sneaky for the high score. I built myself a little 555 timer circuit to put inside my joystick, so it would sit there and pulse the signal and make it move like I wanted it to move. That didn't work out too well.
Oh. Wow.
I gave up on that. The change screen, like I said earlier, it's playable. It's okay. I think what they did to compensate for having the bird just stay at the bottom was they send a ton of snapjaws at you coming down those lines.
That's true, yeah.
Much more than in the arcade version, so you really have to watch for those guys. And unfortunately, you really can't go too many places when they're coming down the vines at you, all the lines.
You have to go all the way down. Yeah, I don't think you can. You
Well,
can't move to one side.
You go to one side. Yeah, you can go to one
Oh,
side.
you can. Okay.
On this screen. On that
you
screen.
can flip to the side.
But you can't go
Not
to
on the
another
third screen.
Not on the screen. Right.
But you can't
Rules
go
don't apply.
all the way across on the lines like you can in the arcade. You're stuck.
Too far
Yeah.
apart.
So if you got multiple lockjaws coming down those lines, you do like a little jig, trying to keep away from them. Which I understand they had to do that to make it a little more challenging because this screen would be way too easy without having those multiple snapjaws coming down at you all the time.
They're pretty dark, too.
Yeah,
Sometimes
they're
hard
hard
to
to see.
Very hard to see, I agree.
I had the worst problem with that on the last screen. What's that called? The Spark screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were hard
I
to see.
died the most on that screen because I really couldn't see them. They had to shoot across at the higher levels. Made it near impossible for me to get past that level.
Yep. Agreed with the stuff you guys are saying. I don't have a big problem with the sounds, other than that one, the kind of off, a couple of clinkers in there. But the climbing sound kind of bugs me. It's to my ears. It's like a high speed version of the Amazon truck backup alarm. It's just awful. You just want it to stop.
The climbing sound, I put it as, is that metal grinding? What is
Yeah.
Really
I mean,
crazy.
it's a neat sound that you could have used in another game in a limited way.
Right.
But for this, it's just ugh. It's not DK Jr., but gameplay wise, it's challenging, and you do play it more than once. Like I felt like I wanted to do better at it. I was just kind of. You dismiss the graphics and the fact that it's not really Donkey Kong Jr. It's not a horrible game to play. It is frustrating. The Snapjaws / Staples I think they have the best AI of any version of this game, because when you're on a vine, they will go to line, not vine. When you're on a line, they will go there, and they will keep coming down that one that you're on.
I hated that song.
Oh, yeah. And they go below the one you're on, and they just kind of hang out there and dance.
Yes.
It's like,
Come on, fall off.
Like, when you first start that screen, the second screen, you think the bird is the big threat. No, the bird is fine. He's just going to go along the bottom, not going to bother you, really. Like you said, Rick, if you're on the line there, he's not going to bother you. But, yeah, those snapjaws are annoying. And on the Spark screen, I had a big problem with that screen initially, and I got a little better at it. It was actually Classic Game Room's review where he was saying if you're climbing up on the sides, if your knee is sticking out, they'll pass you. If your butt is sticking out, they'll bite you.
Yeah. Don't let your ass be close to the thing. It'll
Yeah.
I remember I saw the same thing.
Even knowing that and playing with that in mind, it's still very difficult to time it because they're so fast. This is the hardest gameplay of any of the versions, I think.
Yes, I agree with that.
So I had for sounds, like I had the same thing about the climbing is this weird. I don't know. I said I don't know what it's trying to be. Like that doesn't it doesn't seem like it's trying to emulate the arcade sound. It's just something else, and it's weird. And then when he walks, it's got this weird clickety-clack sound that I said that would be a reasonable walking sound in another game, but it is not what Donkey Kong Jr. It sounds more like you're riding a horse. Like a horse trot would make sense with that sound. So, yeah, the sounds I'm not excited about them myself. In terms of like gameplay stuff, I thought the lock screen was a lot easier than other lock screens.
That's the easiest screen, I think.
Yeah, it's easiest on this port for sure. Because and it really stems from there's only 3 locks.
Yeah.
Willie's mentioned this a couple times. You can't move across because of the way they group them. You can't. Yes. So you can't do 2 locks at the same time, and you're restricted to this this one path through it, if you will, and that to do that with the 2 chains on either lines on either side of the key. So that's an easier level, except the staples hang around at the bottom, like Paul talked about. It's really strange. So I wanted to talk about that opening screen. I don't know how many times because I have never played this game before playing it for the show. So I got on there and I'm like, oh, Donkey Kong Jr., I guess. I look at it and I'm thinking, well, I've played Donkey Kong Jr. before. I know what you're supposed to do. You go up here, you go across, you drop down, you walk along the bottom, and then you get up to the side and you move across, right? I mean, I've played Donkey Kong Jr. before. You can't do that. That's not how this game plays, right? If you try to go up the first line, go across, and then drop down, and then try to work your way across the platforms along the bottom, sorry, you can't do that. They're too far apart. You can't make the jump. And for the longest time, I'm like, is the timing wrong? I'm trying. I don't know how long I spent on this stupid first screen because I know how to play Donkey Kong Jr., right? And
there's a lot of 3-second die, reset, start again.
Yeah. So, I put it in the chat before we recorded, and Ferg mentioned it already. There's one path you have to follow through this. It's not like the arcade game where, there's several ways you could make this jump, you can do that jump, you can use that vine if you want to, but here's the most efficient way. That you can't do it any other way than this one. The way they've laid out the vines and the way that they've made the platforms far apart that you can't jump between them, you have to do a certain path. Until you figure that out, sorry, you're not going to make it through this first board. And that drove me nuts. I was really getting angry at the first board.
Yeah, I agree. That is the most frustrating one, and they might as well not even have put those platforms on the bottom right. You're not going to use them.
Right.
No,
and you try to make a jump, and you think you're at the end of the platform, and he does the Roadrunner. He goes out, and he just falls straight down.
Right.
It's so frustrating, that first screen. I didn't see that as much on the other screens. I don't know what it is. It's like the physics are maybe a little bit different on that or something, or that the gaps are just a little bit too far.
It's like if you're playing the arcade game, you can apply a different strategy to get through the level if you want to, you can go that. If there's too many snap jaws in one area, you can go this route instead. No, not on this one. You just got to do the one path through. Very frustrating.
When it starts, you can immediately hit the button and you'll be on that first vine, but you can also walk over and jump to the second platform and skip going up that vine if you want. That's about the only option.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Of course, you don't show up until you do the first jump.
Right. Exactly. You don't have a choice.
You're not even on the screen yet. That's true. Yeah. You press the button, it's like, boink, and you're, I guess there I am. Yeah. I did. I had the note. I followed CGR Classic Game Room's advice on the Sparks screen. Don't let your butt stick out towards the sparks, if you will die. If the butt is on the side of the C's, but if you're facing it. If you're facing the little staples, then you'll in most cases you'll survive. But that's weird because you don't have a lot of time. It's really rushed on that screen. to try to get your guy to have a different position or whatever.
And you have 2 vines equally spaced like the second screen, but you can't go on either side. You're only
you can't.
in the middle.
You can't. Yeah, exactly. You think
For reasons.
You think, I'll flip to the right or the outermost level, the outermost vine or chain or whatever the heck it is, line. I'll flip outward so I can avoid this. No, you can't do that. So that's very frustrating. I had control issues with this one. There's plenty of times when I'd press the button to jump off a vine and he just wouldn't do it. I don't know what that's about. It's very kind of frustrating for me on that. And we did mention earlier about there's no fruit. So if there's a chomper coming down the line that you're on, you just got to drop to the bottom and wait. Get out of the way and wait. That happened many times. I think it shows up a lot on the key chain level, where if it's coming down. Well, actually, on that one you could flip left or right for the most part. But if there's 2 or something like that, you just have to go down to the bottom and wait. And in the Sparks level, I don't know. I never found really great positions to bide my time. I kind of had this frantic get through the Sparks level as fast as I could kind of thing. There were spots where I could wait and let the staples get past me, but it's frustrating. So this one, I didn't enjoy playing this one very much. I think I posted when we were in our little chat thing. It's like, okay, look, I got a score. I went through all the levels. I think I'm done with this thing. I don't want to play this any further.
What the hell am I playing?
What the hell am I playing is what I put. Yeah, exactly.
Part 1.
Part 1, exactly. It came back.
There's that first platform there, the in the picture where Donkey Kong Jr. is standing. When you jump onto that vine there, I think that you're underneath that platform that you have to go up. So you have to switch over to get up onto that platform. And I fell off that vine a lot of times doing that.
Yeah. Sasquatch is not very agile, it turns out.
No, he's not.
Willie, what do you want to say about this version?
Oh, I've already said what I wanted to say about it. Let's move on to the Intellivision gameplay and sound.
Let's start bashing the Intellivision now.
Go for it, Rick.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so do I need to say that this game has the carnival problem on the first screen? I'm playing this and it's like Carnival has been resurrected in Donkey Kong Jr. form. The sound, the tune restarts like at every sound effect. I just was like, but weirdly enough, it didn't have that problem on the other 2 screens. I don't think it was just the first one. Restart with the sound, the song, and it's like. That's the first screen. Like, that's when the people are going to pull the cartridge out and throw it across the room. If you're going to do that stupid thing, wait till a later screen. But no. The sound keeps restarting over and over. Very frustrating.
I would say about that real quick. I think it's not as bad as Carnival. Carnival always restarts. I think this one sometimes restarts from the beginning and sometimes tries to catch up where it was, but it's never right.
Okay.
So it sounds just as jarring and horrible.
Yeah, the sound is nuts. Like I say, I don't recall it being as frustrating on the other 2 types of screen. For some reason on that first screen, that tune is just bad. And then I did note that the sound that he makes, and it's very, very obvious on the chain screen with the locks and the chains, that when he's moving from chain to chain on the vine or the chain, it's a weird sound. It sounds like Atari 2600 asteroids firing.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly what I put in my notes. He's got the asteroid's gun for some reason.
I don't know why he's got the gun. That's a part of the game. Why is he? Yeah. It's very strange sounding as he moves around.
UFO comes out.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of a bird.
He knows what Mario's going to do with that key, so that's what he's prepared.
I'm waiting for something. Yeah. So I think that's all I had for sounds. So gameplay. Oh my God, the controls on this game are terrible. So I have said this before on the show. I grew up with the Intellivision. I know how to use the Intellivision disc. I'm not a new person at this platform. The controls are it's so frustrating. I don't know how many times I hit disc and jump. I'm trying to jump over something that is to the right or to the left of me, and he jumps straight up. Oh dear Lord, what is going on with the controls? It gets to the point where like I'm on like screen 1. I get to the top. I've made my way through. I make it to the top, and I'm going to go over there and get the thing. But I notice, Mario has let go of a jaw thingy. He's coming at me, and I think, oh well, I'm dead. Because there's like no way I can jump that thing. Like the controls are so terrible that my odds. You know, I'm retreating to the vines, well, the lines in this case. But I'm retreating to the right to get off the platform to let the snap draw go somewhere else because I don't think I have a chance. Yeah, I got maybe a 20% chance of jumping it at that point. So yeah, it was rough. I did not like. They did not handle the disc and the side buttons correctly. The third screen, or I guess it's a third type of screen, the one with the springy thing and the moving vines and the moving platforms and whatever. The platforms that are moving back and forth, what are they, 5 pixels across?
Yeah.
They're these little, and they're moving ridiculously fast compared to your movement. I'm looking at this going, okay, guys, I understand, like, you only had so many pixels for the width of the screen, but, like, good Lord, this is terrible. Like, you couldn't, and in particular, the one on the right, like, you had to jump because he jumps so slow and the controls are so bad. You had to jump as it's moving away from you, right, so that it'll come back and you can land on it because it moves so much faster than you do. I think you need a lot better control from the controller than this game gives you to do well at that third screen. It requires precision jumping, and that is not what this game is about. This game does not have precision jumping as part of what it does. I also wrote that I mentioned before about Donkey Kong looks like he might be a spider missing some legs. I thought he needs a Donkey Kong not to scale kind of a sign beside his cage, because I don't know, it looks it's so weird. So weird what's going on graphically with that. And just kind of to cap it off with my notes here, I had always heard in the Intellivision community, I don't know where I picked this up, but maybe Atari Age forums or chatting about different games at cons and stuff like that. But I'd always heard that, Donkey Kong on Intellivision is a travesty, and we've talked about that in the show. But that the conventional wisdom that Donkey Kong Jr., while it wasn't that great graphically, the gameplay was there, right? And it was a reasonable port, not bad, certainly a whole lot better than Donkey Kong. I don't know I don't know who said that and why. That is not true. Maybe in comparison to Donkey Kong on Intellivision, it's a big step forward, and I would agree with that. Or maybe in comparison to Donkey Kong Jr. on the 2600, it's a big step forward. But this is not good. I do not think this is a great version of the game. I was super frustrated with my beloved Intellivision trying to play this game, and that's all the notes I had about this game.
Wow. How about you,
Just a
Ferg?
few things.
I had a couple notes. Sorry.
Well, I mean, Rick pretty much said it all. The main problem I had was diagonal jumping, like Rick said, along those platforms. On the first screen, you don't really need it on the second screen as much, but it's just getting onto a line from a platform was tough. Mm-hmm. You had to really line it up. The only time I could really diagonal jump well is on the third screen when I was hanging off the left moving vine, and when I wanted to drop down on the moving platform, I would just go diagonally right past it back onto the spring.
Yeah, I hit that. I fell off that thing onto the spring. I went to 5 times. Insane.
Yep. But at least you fell on the spring and you start over, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to start over.
I don't think I made it up to the chains on that third screen.
Well, there is another. Yeah, there's sort of like you thought you were dead, and then suddenly you were saved by the spring. That can also happen on that third screen at the top vine if you sort of fall in that little gap.
Yes,
you'll suddenly catch and like, wait, I thought I just died. But I'm with you guys. I did play this kind of way back in not back when it came out, but in the early days of collecting, and put a little bit of time in it. It's not. I don't think it's as horrible as you feel it is, Rick. But I will say that the control is not good, and there's a lot of that kind of double. You got to hit the disc again, like kind of the 2600 problem. It doesn't register. It'll kind of stop and start a little bit here and there. The third screen with the jump, if you hit the jump button as you hit the little spring, you'll go up to that one immediately.
Yeah.
That is hard to do. I don't know. I tried so many times. I don't think there's a timing. I think it's just random whether it gives it to you in 1 in 10 chance. Yeah, that's what it feels like.
I never tried it.
I once you do that, but the other thing is when you're on those the leftmost vine trying to get to the main vines, you got to time that perfectly and be at perfectly the right height to grab the other vine and keep going. Otherwise, you just fall there, and then you go to the left of the spring and you die.
Exactly the problem I had with that screen.
Yeah, the sounds are okay. They're better than Carnival and Mousetrap for sure. They got some of the notes right in the intro music. The phrasing is almost right, not quite, but
yeah, the main tune though they missed a note somewhere.
Yeah.
It's like you don't need to miss a note on
no,
the television.
you don't.
What is that?
you got more than one voice too, but why use it? The asteroids get laser gun sound is the same thing in my notes when you're climbing. I don't know why you're shooting that, but you are. I will say I like the sound. Like when you hit one of the fruits and then when it falls and when it hits the enemy, I think that's kind of a cool thing, and there's actually a decent graphic effect to that too. But yeah, it's just not a good gameplay feel. I have fun with it, but it's super frustrating, especially that spring screen, the third one. It's so difficult, and if you go more than once on that, and then the birds, they change their height, you got to like perfectly time it to get the fruit on them before they run into you. The key one is cool. It's not too difficult. I can usually zip through that. The first one, there are some options for the ways you go, but again, you start walking and you think you've gone far enough, and then you suddenly stutter and you try to jump and you fall. It's very frustrating.
Yeah.
I think that's about all I got.
Yeah, I pretty much play this game on mute. So I didn't really hear a lot of the sounds because they were distracting me. Even then, I can't get by that springboard screen at all. I would get to that screen, I would die. I just hit reset, start all over again. Die, rinse and repeat. But I did enjoy the change screen a lot more than I did the 2600 version.
Yeah, that's the closest to arcade accurate, if you want to call it that, of the three screens.
Yeah. That was that one's actually pretty enjoyable. I think I like that screen too.
But I can't remember who said it, but I had a hard time getting lined up with the lines to get them to jump on.
Yeah,
that was a big problem for me as well, especially on the first screen. I spent a lot of time just trying to get on the vine on that first screen.
On that first vine, right? Just get
very first one.
Left, right, left. Jump,
and
left, jump.
And that first screen, there's that one banana that's hanging below the vine. You got to reach over from the other vine to knock that off. That's not true on the ColecoVision version, though. That you actually have more vine that goes below it. But that one is sort of why bother? You're just going to fall off.
Yeah.
I think it's like that in the arcade. It's below the vine. Yeah.
I think I remember more than once on the first or third screen, where you have to come up and jump up to the key and climb up it. More than once in the Intellivision version, I would jump, and he would swing further, swing to the other side of the chain or the line, and he would swing even one step further, where he's reaching for another vine. Even though I had done the jump, I was done. He swung all the way out there, and he hits Mario, and he dies. I'm you've got to be kidding me! What is that?
It's Boo Berry. It's not Mario.
Boo Berry.
Handicap Boo Berry.
Handicap Boo Berry. One of the lemmings. I'm not sure what he is, but yeah.
Mario Smurf. So the ColecoVision version. Now this one is very close looking like the arcade game. The sounds in it and the music, I think, are pretty good. This is probably the one I enjoy playing the most on my retro consoles. It's still a very difficult game for me because of that stupid spring screen. But on the ColecoVision version, I am able to get past it a few times when I get lucky. So this one, I think I got a... Well, it's not going to be a very decent score, I tell you right now. But at least I was able to play this game longer than the first two. But I really enjoy this version of the game. What do you think about it, Fern?
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with this until my ColecoVision futzed down on me. There was a lot of snow. I think I just got to clean out the inside. I know that's happened to me before. So, but yeah, it looks really good. I just wish I could have played the spark screen on this version too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I think it would have been really good. Yeah, they did a good job with this one.
What about you, Rick?
Yeah, this is very very cool graphics. It's like not dead on to the arcade, but like it's really good. Like it really looks like Donkey Kong Jr. You know what you're looking at. I remember that the sounds sound a lot like the arcade, but like I'm guessing there's some subtle differences. But I tend to be the one on this show that doesn't notice the sounds as well. So, but like I couldn't tell. Like when I'm playing it, I'm like, yeah, this sounds great. This sounds like Donkey Kong Jr. to me. I was sucked in, if you will, and didn't have a problem with the sounds on it. I did notice that on the lock screen, like when you free Donkey Kong, he looks like he's a prize fighter, like standing there with his, who just killed somebody. He's got his arms up in the air. It looks like he's wearing boxing gloves. Yeah. So that's always fun to see. And he's very smiley and happy. I did mention that it seems weird that the sparks level wasn't there. It seems like they could have done it. Like I don't know. Maybe they're at the end of the some power of 2 in terms of number of chips of data. They didn't want to spend the money for another chip, but it feels like it could have been here. I wrote that game 1, which is the one we typically play for this, is a little bit too easy. I felt like it's easier than the arcade machine for sure, but that's probably by design, right? I mean, does Coleco kind of aim for game 3 to be like kind of like arcade hard, and game 4 was harder? Is that
I think it was 2 or 3 would be
2 or 3, yeah. So 1 is an easier version, so it makes sense. I remember playing it and feeling like it was super fun. Don't get me wrong, but I felt like I'm doing a lot better at this than I probably should. Right?
That's probably why I enjoy it so much, because I do pretty well with it.
Yeah. And I did mention in terms of under sound, like it doesn't do the fugue thing, right? Is this the one that doesn't do that one? Or
it doesn't.
Do it? Yeah, I thought so. It's just in that opening song, which is kind of strange. Given that, I know Intellivision had it. Does Atari try it? I don't remember if they did.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Well,
but
hey, at least you get that 2-minute little black screen saying what game you're going to play. So
sure, I love that. It's a great port. I thoroughly enjoyed playing it on the Coleco for sure.
Yeah, I have to agree. Granted, I have the nostalgia factor too, because I spent a lot of time playing this. To me, this is Donkey Kong Jr. The sounds are pretty much spot on. The music, while I didn't really think about that, but you're right, it is missing that kind of intro one, Rick. But the other music, the end of level stuff, like the ColecoVision, when they do music, it's like a very clean, on pitch, sort of nice, friendly sound, right? And the music's very pleasant. It's done well. They obviously put much more time in on this than the other two.
Well, they didn't like one of the other two, so.
I think they intentionally said, throw a couple of bad notes in, guys, because we don't want those versions to... I know you already fucked up the graphics, but you might as well do that with the notes and music and sound.
Who's doing sound?
Yeah.
Come in here. We're going to have a meeting.
Yeah, you got it too good. We got to change a couple notes. Gameplay, I think... It plays well. There are some frustrations. That third screen is pretty difficult. Again, that's if you time the press of the button while you hit the spring just right, you can get up on that middle one and save some time. And that doesn't happen. That's 1 in 20 on this one, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe. If you're on that little vine heading to the 2 on the left, you got to time that perfectly, just like the Intellivision. I think this is even worse than that. Otherwise, you just drop. And because I would try to jump off or fall, it doesn't work. You've just got to grab that next vine, and it is not always easy to do. I got better at it after playing it again for this, because I played it a lot as a kid. But I do have a problem with the ColecoVision controller. A lot of people do. I mean, the joy stub. It is not. Especially when it's 40 years old, it doesn't work very well. But I used an alternate controller. I have the Y adapter hooked up, so I tried a few different ones. And believe it or not, I had the most success with the Atari Pain Line, the Pro Line controller.
Wow.
I used that, and I got my best score with that one. So
Wow.
I don't normally use that controller for anything, but I was trying everything in the arsenal because I couldn't play with the original one. Somehow I did as a kid. I don't know how, but yeah, this is what I would play. I consider this the same, close to the arcade as you're going to get. Now, I know there was an Atom release that added the additional screen. I have not played that one. I've seen videos of it. Yeah, no complaints gameplay-wise, sound-wise.
Yeah, I used my my NTT Data Super Famicom controller on my ColecoVision Phoenix to play this game.
Me too. That's what I did.
Nice.
It works really well with that controller. So, Rick, you talked about this already?
What?
What's that?
About
Scores?
this game? No. Oh, never mind.
No, yeah. I already
Okay.
covered it. Yep.
All right.
Did you guys
just
play
make sure.
any other versions?
I played MAME. I played the arcade version a bit. It's been a long time. I don't think I really put that much time on the arcade ever. So, not very good. I don't have a 7800, but I don't think I could take those sounds.
Yeah, they're bad. They're really
Awful.
bad.
I played, and I think Paul did too. We played the Intellivision homebrew version of this.
Yeah, that's
A
the
little
other
bit.
one. I don't know if you wanted to bring that up. It looks and sounds a lot better. Although I think the fruit falling and hitting the enemy sounds better on the Coleco version. But I had control issues with that one too. The remake homebrew Television Revolution. You said you didn't, Rick? Because I thought the joystick, the movement, the disc, where you have to tap again to keep moving, and maybe that they were trying to emulate the play of the Coleco one, but I found it kind of frustrating to control well.
It was better than I thought. It was better than the Intellivision control.
For
the original
sure,
version,
yeah.
Right. And I feel like it was whatever it was. I felt like I was able to get kind of used to it. I definitely enjoyed playing, but it was hard. It was harder.
It's
for sure.
very hard. Yeah, has all 4 screens. Graphics
Yes.
are great. I don't. You guys have played now, Willie. You did a video a long time ago where you played.
Yeah,
and
Rick.
compared the two.
Rick loaned me his copy so I could make a video,
Yeah.
and I really enjoyed that homebrew Intellivision version quite a bit.
I only bought it a few weeks ago because I wanted to finally play it. I'd seen videos, and I haven't given it that much time, but I would say right at this point I still prefer the Coleco version over that.
Well, if you have an Intellivision and you want to get a good version of the game, you want to go for the homebrew,
Yeah.
not the Coleco version.
The animation, all the intermission, all the screens, Donkey Kong falling, Junior catching him, kicking,
Right.
all that stuff. It's all in there.
Yeah,
Get
it's
all
on
4 screens, gives you the most bang for the buck. I
Yeah.
would go for the homebrew version.
For sure. You can get the ROM for $10 if you got them all.
Yeah.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what I want to do. I want to buy the ROM for my LTO flash cart.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, but
Now-
I played a little bit of the Atari 8-bit version before we recorded because that's what I grew up playing quite a bit of.
That's the thing I was trying to remember because my buddy that he had the Atari 8-bit before me, and then we both got it, and he would always get all the cracked stuff and bring discs full of games home, and I remember playing Donkey Kong, but I don't think we had DK Jr. on that. I don't think I've really played it on the 8-bit. I should. It looks pretty good.
It's not bad. It's okay. And
It
of
doesn't
course-
look great from the video.
No, it's graphically doesn't look all that great. The ColecoVision version looks better.
Yeah.
Than the Atari 8-bit, but it's a fairly good game. Of course, I played it quite a bit on the NES when I got it on that, which is it's a really good version of that game as well.
Yeah. It's weird that Junior has all 4 screens, but Donkey Kong doesn't on the NES. I do not.
Isn't that something?
I don't understand that at all.
No. At least I got the NES ROM for Donkey Kong that has all 4 screens.
Oh yeah.
So I gotta get a cartridge made of that. That's a pretty cool game to have. Anyway, I'm rambling again. Let's talk about scores.
Do we have to? All right.
Yeah.
Yes, well, hey, I probably guarantee you I'm going to be the low man of the totem pole for all these because I can't get by that friggin' spring level. Atari 2600, Ferg.
Let's see. It was 32,800.
Well, I don't feel so bad now. Rick.
27,800.
Oh.
Wow, I really don't feel bad.
Get ready to feel bad.
I got 65,905.
Wow.
Damn. I only got 45,000.
Wow.
Okay, now how did I get such a high
How did you
freaking
do
score?
so well on that shitty
When
game?
Sure, you got the right score there, Willie.
I recorded it, man. I recorded the video of me playing this game for the video version of this podcast, so maybe I was smoking crack or something.
I could not break in fact, when I had 45, I still had 3 guys left, and I couldn't get past. Or it was on that damn spark screen. But I think that was before I saw the video about your ass and your knee. So I couldn't go back. I didn't want to. I'm like, yeah, I know that now, but no, I'm not going to go back and play it more.
Wow.
Yeah,
All right.
well done.
Nice job, Willie.
I thought I did bad. Anyway, I'll be definitely looking at that video when I'm making the video version of the podcast.
I want to see what you did.
Yeah. Oh, so you think it's 65,908 there?
I didn't
Willie
think
was
the game would
smoking
go
down.
past. I didn't
Willie,
think it would go
put
past
down the
45.
absinthe.
Yeah. Or drink more. I don't know which.
Drink more. Intellivision version, Rick.
24,100.
Ooh. Paul.
45,800.
Whoa. I had 22,300.
I had 12,600.
Oh, I won that.
All right, here we go. ColecoVision version, I had 32,400. Paul.
119,400.
Wow.
Jeez.
Level 18 I was on.
Wow.
Dang. Rick.
61,100. I thought that was good. Turns out, no.
It took me. I had a really good game.
Apparently.
Berg.
I got up to, I think, 33,000. I don't know how many guys I had left, but I couldn't see the screen anymore.
Well, that's apropos. Berg lost his 2,600 one. I lose the Coleco one, so. And Paul wins everything, pretty much. As usual.
No, I didn't win the Atari one. I just sent the picture of my score on the Coleco while I'm holding up the pain line controller that I used.
Wow.
That was only, I don't know, a few days ago when I hit that. Because before that, I was around 70 or something thousand, and I thought I could do better. Somehow I did.
So where do you get this Y adapter?
No, I just made it.
Oh, okay.
I could make you one if you want. It's easy to make. I'll send you one.
I would like to purchase one because you sent me enough stuff.
There may be other things coming too, so I'll send the Y adapter with that. I sent Ferg some appreciation gifts.
Yes, I was very appreciative. Thank you so much.
That's awesome.
Well, all the stuff you put out, you deserve it.
Yeah, it's kind of like a thank you. That's why I like to
Exactly.
say stuff to him.
Exactly. Rick, did you get a score on the homebrew Intellivision? I only played it a little bit. I got like 15,400.
Oh, you know what? I didn't write it down. I got through. I think I got through the screens, but
you probably did better. I didn't do well. I didn't put enough time in on it.
Yeah, it was, like I said, it was hard for sure. But I didn't like really press in and try to get a high score. I just played enough to try to see the screens.
Right.
Well, if you want to know what I got on, you have to watch my video. That's the last time I played it.
Willie, when you played, because I made a note of this, let me see. When you did the video about the Intellivision versions, on the Coleco version, you got 42,400. So you were only 400 points below what I got for this show.
Wow. I did a lot better back then.
You did. And I think that's about level 6 on the where you're in. I don't know that the Atari version counts what level. If there's some indication, I didn't make note of it. If there is, like the level you die on.
I don't recall. I didn't really pay attention to that. Huh. Anyway. So, which version of this game do you enjoy playing the most, Ferg? Coleco, Atari, or Intellivision?
Oh, definitely a Coleco.
For Rick?
Well, out of the 3, Coleco for sure, but I do think I want to play more of the Intellivision homebrew, but just because I haven't put enough time into that yet. But for the original stuff, Coleco for sure.
Paul?
Yeah, Coleco for sure. I want to do more on the Intellivision homebrew, and I also want to try the Atom version. Now, I was saying this to Rick before we recorded that I have played the version of Donkey Kong that has all the screens on my Atari Max on ColecoVision that's supposed to be the Atom version. Mm-hmm. And I haven't tested it, and you don't need any special hardware unless the Atari Max is giving you something that I'm not aware of. But I don't know if you can play the Atom version of DK Jr. on just a ColecoVision. You?
I have no idea. I've never tried it.
I mean, I have the Super Game module, but I don't think they made a Super Game module conversion of it.
No. I've never tried it. The Atom version on my ColecoVision.
And I don't have an Atom, and I'm assuming none of us have Atoms, right?
I used to have one, but I sold it.
Ooh.
I just bought just the base unit to play cartridges because it had the composite video output on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just too big for my room. Like between that and the 5200, I lost half my wall space. So it had to go.
They really should have had a 5200 version of this, and I guess it came down to either the timing of when the 5200 came out or Coleco not wanting their direct. That was supposed to be the direct competitor to ColecoVision, right?
Intellivision.
It just would have been the 8-bit version.
Anyway. At the beginning it was, but then I think 5200 was out, and then Coleco was probably like, no, because it's going to look just as good as ours. We can't do that. Or did it have more to do with Atari having the rights to the home computer version, and they thought that's essentially a 400 without a keyboard? I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, that was Donkey Kong Jr.
It was.
Yes, it was.
Indeed.
114 minutes of it.
Yeah. But between the... I don't think Ferg's played the homebrew version of the Intellivision.
I haven't, no.
No. But between the Coleco version and Intellivision version, those two are a toss-up for me. I really like the ColecoVision version, but I also enjoyed playing the Intellivision version as well, the homebrew Intellivision version.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
That's a game I would highly recommend getting if you own an Intellivision. Ignore the one by Coleco. Go after that homebrew.
I definitely agree. I want to put more time. It's very difficult. I think it's arcade level difficulty at the easiest level.
Yeah, which is All right. Well, don't know when the next episode's going to come out, but
do we want to talk about a possible title or no?
What's left to choose?
Yeah.
Are we down to sports games now?
No, we got Pitfall.
Oh, well, that's the same on every platform, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah. The trees look nicer really boring.
The trees look great.
Yeah.
Are we going to do something where there is a homebrew version of a game that wasn't back in the day game?
Yeah.
I think we also have Blockade Runner, right?
I don't think that's available for 2600. I was just looking that up.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's not a thing then. That should not be in the list. Who put that in there?
Reynolds
Jungle
Research
Hunt
Department
would be a good one to do, maybe.
Which one?
Jungle Hunt.
Oh, yeah.
Can you buy the ROM for that one too, or is it just the?
Wasn't that one of those secret releases, Rick? I didn't get it. Jungle Hunt on the.
It was. I think the. Which group? Was it CollectorVision?
I don't remember.
They did. It was only available through their club. I have it, but
well, if we could get it and play it, I don't want to do a review if I can't play the game.
Sure. I don't remember if there's a ROM available for it for sale anywhere or anything like that. I haven't looked at that in a while.
Well, we know people in that community, so perhaps we can do something.
People.
We should be able to find out at the very least.
What else is there that were all? Is there anything left that was original releases for all three?
I think it's just Pitfall left.
I think Pitfall and sports titles. I think is what we ended up with, or like Checkers.
Rick, you and Ferg did that on YouTube, which was awesome. The battle.
Yeah. Did we do three? So all cool. Three? Checkers, Chess, and Othello? Did we do all three of them?
Well, you and I did
You did chess and you did checkers.
I did chess and checkers.
Or
and
did you
Othello.
do it? I guess you did, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we did all three, Ferg. Or maybe I did, and I know I did, Willie, you and I did chess with ColecoVision and Intellivision, didn't we?
That's right,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, we did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be nice to get something with the Odyssey 2 again.
Right.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
Is there
Yeah.
anything left, though? I don't think there is.
I don't think so.
You know,
Unless
you
we're
get-
sports or similar
Sports.
gameplay of games or something.
Yeah, I don't think we're doing any sports titles, no.
There is an Odyssey 2 version of Othello, I think. I think it's called Dynasty. Is that true Othello, or is it just like Othello-like or something?
I think I have it, but I don't think I've played it.
Odyssey 2.
A lot of these games, it's the Intellivision version is the homebrew, and the other two are released versions.
Oh, yeah, and that other table there, right?
What about
yeah.
What about Cosmic Avenger, Coleco? Which I know that there's a homebrew for Intellivision. I have it. I know it was on ColecoVision. Atari 2600 never got one. I don't
No,
think.
there's no prototype available.
I mean, we also have to think about the 5200, but I don't know. Centipede, we already did. That happened a long time ago, right?
Yeah.
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 And this year we'll be doing this for 8 years, guys. We're averaging 3 episodes a year.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Sweet.
We did talk about, like, we could go, like, if you would just want to, like, toss things to the wind, right? We could play, like, Adventure, AD&D Cloudy Mountain, and Quest for the Golden Chalice. You know, like you could get into, like, thematically similar games, and then it opens up more possibilities.
Yeah.
Seems like we're not really
Wizard of War?
coming up with a plan here.
Oh, is that on? That's on 2600 as well.
Yes.
There's
two versions.
There's a 5200 version. There's a homebrew of Intellivision.
Yeah, there's a homebrew.
Coleco homebrew.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. I mean,
And there's also a really awesome homebrew on the 2600 Wizard of War
Yes.
Fox.
Well, can we get access to all that? I have the Coleco and the Intellivision, probably the 5200 version on multicart. I don't know about 26.
Well, I wouldn't worry about the 5200 version.
Well, it's the same as the 8-bit version.
Yeah, it'd be the same as the
Probably,
8-bit
yeah.
version. But I've got Wizard of War for the ColecoVision. I've got it for the 2600, and I got it for the Intellivision, and I've got the homebrew Wizard of War as well for the 2600.
yeah.
Yeah, could make that work.
Yeah.
So, Pitfall or Wizard of War?
Oh, Wizard of War, man.
Yeah, I go Wizard of War too.
All right. There you
Of
go.
course. Yeah.
All right.
Of course, we'll need to talk about the original release Wizard of War on 2600, but it's really going to pale in comparison to the homebrew version
Yes.
on the 2600 and the ColecoVision and Intellivision.
Yeah.
So I think it's mainly going to be a homebrew InTariVisions Wizard of War.
Right, yeah, I mean, like,
Yeah.
all three of them, the one you
Yeah.
really want to talk about is the homebrew, right?
Yeah, but we'll mention the original one by CBS.
It's not bad for the time.
No, it's not. It's not. I played it quite a bit on my 2600. It's a
Did
good
you
game.
cover that on your show, Ferg?
Oh, yeah, a long time ago, yeah.
A long time ago.
Cool.
All right, need to end this thing.
All right, so,
punchy.
You want to plan for early 2023 then, or?
Yeah, 2023. No, we'll keep the chat running. We'll just try to come up with something. Maybe do it sometime later in the fall or something.
Sounds good to me.
That give everybody plenty of time to take time to play the different homebrew versions and make some notes. Casually make some notes. Try to do another episode maybe sometime in September, October, somewhere in there.
All right.
I think that'll be a good one.
Sounds good.
Well,
Go ahead.
Oh, I stopped recording, but I'm saving now. But if you're still recording,
I'm still recording.
okay, cool.
Anyway, so until next time, everyone, thanks for listening.
I I got Donkey Kong, and now I'll get you too, Junior.
I'm Donkey Kong Jr., and that's my papa. I'm trying to save him, and boy, do I need your help.
Nintendo's Donkey Kong Jr., the arcade game, is now the Super Home video game.
Save your papa, huh? Save yourself first.
He's chasing me with snapping jaws, and I could fall.
Help Donkey Kong Jr. save his papa on your ColecoVision, Atari 2600 VCS, or Intellivision video game system.
Game players everywhere. Please, help me save my
It's the
papa.
closest thing to the real thing.
Because your vision is our vision.
No other video game stacks up to Atari.
Atari left me rather flat.
Sorry, Atari. I play on ColecoVision.
Nobody's hotter than Atari this summer.
The arcade quality game system, ColecoVision.
Have you played Atari today?
I have played Atari today. That's why I play Intellivision.
Best game in town just got better. ColecoVision.
I'll try almost anything.
Why did you buy Atari? Why are you doing that? Why? Please don't do that again.
Intellivision is so good, Coleco copied half their name.
The Atari video computer system. More games, more fun.
No other company offers you as many different video game cartridges as Atari.
I played on ColecoVision. I played on ColecoVision. Mattel's M-Network and Imagine. We made them on ColecoVision.
Intellivision from Mattel Electronics. In my opinion, if you try them both, there's only one conclusion you can come to.
More games, more fun.
Yeah, that's the homebrew.
Oh.
Rick's cheating. Or whoever
I
did
put
the
everything
notes.
in there.
Well, I mean, it's overlays, but the original didn't come with
But
those.
he did put the box in here for the homebrew.
No, but that's okay.
That's confusing as hell. 'Cause now I'm thinking my copy of Donkey Kong Jr. is supposed to have an overlay. That's false advertisement.
I think the only one they did an overlay for was Mousetrap for Intellivision.
Oh, yeah, because of the doors, right? The
Yeah.
color, yeah.
Yeah, I re-listened to that episode not too long ago.
Oh.
I didn't participate with you guys, but yeah, I didn't hate that game, but it's not my favorite. It's better than Carnival.
Well, that explains the one download it got.
No, I like it on the ColecoVision. The arcade is fun. Intellivision, not so much.
True. Welcome everyone to episode 25 of What the Hell? Hang on.
When did you guys change the name of the show? I like it. It's catchy.
Welcome to episode 25. Yeah.
Of the what the hell?
What the hell?
Well, it kind of fits for this game, I think, in some ways.
Who's got the notes?
Where are my notes?
Do you need a link?
Yeah.
All right. How do I do it?
This is it. Now, wait a minute. You should be that rusty, man. You're still podcasting.
But he's
I don't
solo.
use Skype.
Who's he talking to?
Oh, that's right. That's right. Never mind.
I talk to no one. All right, I put it in the chat.
Oh, crap. I'm not even over there. Hang on a minute. Now I can find the Skype icon.
Skype chat? What the crap?
Yeah, where do they hide that?
Yeah, I'm looking
It's right at the bottom. It says chat.
Mine don't say chat at the bottom. It says microphone, video, hang up, and this little up arrow like it's flipping me off.
Well, maybe the up arrow is where the chat is.
No, it says you choose to share a screen. No, I don't want to do that.
Mine's got a little talky cloud, like
there
that
we go.
cartoon person
Yeah.
talking to me.
There we go. I found
Talky
it.
cloud.
Like a comic strip, like Andy Capp is talking to me.
Yes.
Andy Capp again.
Oh boy.
It can be tossed.
He's coming up. He's coming.
Oh yes, he is. Among other characters.